All right, that is great. So for today's session, me and Anjana are actually the evangelists with Zoho, but we'll also double as your host for today. And we've got Zahal, a product expert who, with his fast fingers, will be working behind the screen, answering your questions during the session. And today, we have Rohit and Vijay, who will help you through the hands-on training session. And before we jump into the session, just a few quick pointers. Make sure that you have signed into your Zoho One account, and if you're a Zoho One user, make sure that you have Zoho subscriptions, Zoho checkout, and Zoho books added. If you're a shared user, you may need admin privileges to access certain features. For questions during the session, post them through the option on your left that is marked questions. And if you face any issues with audio or video, do let us know through the chat box. So it's questions in the questions tab and issues in the chat box. And please do participate in our polls to keep this workshop lit. Topic for today, and that's simplifying payment collection for your business. All right. So, unlike our previous sessions, today we have two trainers who will be taking you through the hands-on product training. We have Rohit, who will take you through the introduction to payment collection, after which he will give you a hands-on training on Zoho subscription and Zoho checkout, which are the finance applications. Following Rohit, we have Vijay, who will handle the training on Zoho Books, Zoho's bookkeeping and accounting tool. And finally, we'll have Anjana, who will give you a quick recap. So before I hand the session over to Rohit, I just want to have a quick poll. So if you could just answer that, that would be awesome. So does your business collect payments online? So there are three options here. So if you could answer them, it'll be nice. Okay, so the least amount of our attendees collect payments through physical methods, and okay, it's 50-50 for both mixed and completely online. All right, I'm going to display the results here. Okay. All right, that is great. And thank you all so much for participating in that poll. So what I'm going to do now is, let me not, push the session any forward. So without further ado, let me welcome Rohit, a product expert who will take you through the hands-on training session. And if you have any questions, Zahal is ready to answer. And if any of you aren't able to follow us, this session is being recorded and we'll definitely share the recording with you. Hello, Rohit. Welcome. This virtual stage is all yours.
Okay. Hi, John. Thank you for the quick introduction. So hope you all can hear me. Okay, guys. So like John said, today we'll be going on hands-on session with Zoho subscriptions and Zoho checkout. So which will be taken care by me, following which I'll be going on with handling the session on Zoho Books. Okay, so today we are going to show you how to simplify your payment collection for your business using finance suite of applications. So before we jump into the topic, let me take you through the next slide. Yeah, so before we start collecting payments, let us see the list of finance applications and their purposes. Okay, to start off with Zoho Invoice, a simple invoicing tool with which you can create, send, and collect online payments for your invoices. Zoho Books. Zoho Books is an accounting application which helps you keep track of receivables, payables, simplifies reconciliation, and helps you to generate BAS returns. Next online would be Zoho Expense. Zoho Expense is an online expense management solution using which you can streamline your employee expense management, and you can manage the reimbursements as well. And Zoho Subscriptions is ideal for business that run on a recurring basis, wherein it generates you reports like MRR, ARPU, which is completely based on subscription metrics. And Zoho Inventory is an advanced order fulfillment and order management tool with multi-Maros management. And finally, Zoho Checkout, which helps you to create customized payment pages using which you can collect payments in a simplified way. Okay, so in order to collect payments both locally and internationally, we have set up integration with these payment gateways. So to name a few, we have integration with Stripe, PayPal, PayPal Payflow Pro, GoCardless, 2Checkout, and Authorize.net. So with all of them, you'd be able to collect credit card payments. Whereas with Go Cardless, you'll be able to collect direct debit payments. And with PayPal Payflow Pro, you'll be able to collect both credit card as well as PayPal payments. Okay, so today we have decided 3 scenarios, wherein the first scenario would be collecting recurring payment for online courses, which will be powered by Zoho subscriptions, and collecting donations for a fundraiser campaign, which will be powered by Zoho Checkout, and finally, a project-based billing, which will be powered by Zoho Books. Okay, so we'll just walk you through the scenarios in the finance suite of applications. So the first 2 would be handled by Zoho subscriptions and Zoho Checkout. So I'll quickly take you through the first scenario. Okay, so assume you have a website in which you provide online courses. Now customers will have to subscribe in your website in order to become your students. So only then they'll be able to access the eligible course material. So in order to do that, I'll show you how you can set up the entire workflow on your website so that you can collect online payments and manage customer subscriptions end to end. So let me show you a typical customer journey right from they visiting your website. Say, for example, if any customer who's visiting your website, they'll look at the course material which you're offering to them. Once they are okay with the content, they'll click on the pricing tab and you display with them the list of plans which you offer to them. And they pick a plan between any of the choices, and you'll take them directly to the payment page where they can enter the card details and they can subscribe. Once after the subscription is successful, your customer would receive a notification and they get access to the relevant course material which they have paid for. And finally, moving on, the subscription would automatically renew and it'll be automatically charged on the renewal dates. And moving forward, if in future, if the customer wants to cancel the subscription or if they want a refund, you can handle the same within Zoho subscriptions. So I have a sample site set up here. So I'll just post the same in the chat box. So this is the sample site which I have set up. So please access this website. And I've just opened up the same in my home in my browser as well. So you can see that this is just a simple website which I have set up, and there is no options for your customers to subscribe from this particular page. So what I'll do now is that I'll just walk you through Zoho subscriptions and I'll set up a payment page. So we'll just go in here. So I've just logged into Zoho subscriptions. First, the initial thing, I'll just connect with my payment gateway. So I'll just click on settings. I'll go to integrations, and you can see that I've already connected with Stripe here. You can pick between the payment gateway which you like. Once you have done that, you just come back to the products tab. So this is where you begin setting up your plans. So for the sake of simplicity, I've already set up a weekly plan, which is priced at $30 per week, and a yearly plan, which is priced at $100 per year. And now we'll just go on adding a monthly plan. So I'll just give it a plan name. And the price for the monthly plan. So say, for example, I'm charging $200 per month. I'll just enter 200 here. And then moving on. So these are the options which are not mandatory here. So I'll just choose include in widget option. So I'll just show you the magic of this option. I'll just save. Okay, so we have 3 plans set up and we have chosen the option to include in widget, so which plays a major role here. I'll just click on more and I'll choose embed widget. So the include in widget has direct relation with this embed widget option. So if you just go under here, a pricing table would be automatically generated by Zoho subscriptions. So you can see my website looks all in green color. So I can just go in and I can change the color and everything from here, customizations I need. And I can pick between the templates, whichever I want. So I'll just go with the elegant template here. And I'll just choose the plans to be displayed like in here. And that's it. So you can completely customize this. You can choose not to display plans. You can reorder them like in here. And finally, once you're done, Zoho subscriptions will give you a code for this. So you need not do any coding work on your end. We'll directly provide you with the widget code. So you can simply choose to copy code here. And once that is done, you go to your site editor. And so for the sake of simplicity, I've made use of Zoho sites to create this particular site. So I'll just go in and I'll just add a code snippet. And I'll just paste my code in here. And that's it. And I'll publish the same. Okay, so and that's it. So if you just go on to the website and reload this particular page here, so you can see the plans which we have set up here. So say, for example, if any customer visiting your website, they'll be looking at the description and they'll be scrolling down to this. And if they choose the plan, when they click on yearly plan, they'll be taken to the secure payment page, which will be provided by Zoho Subscriptions, where your customer can enter the details and they can subscribe. So with this payment page, you need not worry about PCI components and all that. So Zoho Subscriptions will take care of everything, right from the communication with payment gateway to the PCI components and all that. So I'll just enter the sample details here. My email, billing address, PIN code, the country, and the dummy card details. So since I'm playing around, I'm using a dummy card details. So I posted the same card details in the chat box as well. So you can make use of this and you can just play around with the site as well. Okay, I'll just enter the traded CVV and that's it. Okay, it's still loading. Yeah, so the payment would be directly going on through Stripe, and Stripe would process the payment and send us an acknowledgement. Once it is done, you can just redirect them to the thank you page. So if you just go inside Zoho Subscriptions, click on the customers tab, so you can find that particular customer who have signed up in here. So the card details which is stored, the customer's subscription details. If you go under the transactions tab, you have the invoice and the payment. And similarly, if you click on this particular subscription, you'll be able to view the subscription dates. So the next billing date will be set to next year since I've subscribed to yearly plan. And the invoices for the same would be showing up under here as well. So once this is done, so if you just go under the transactions tab, if say, for example, if the customer wants a refund for this particular transaction, you directly click on the payment here and you can choose to refund from here. So clicking on refund from here and entering the amount would directly initiate a refund to the customer's original mode of payment. So it has been refunded. And you can find the refund details here as well, the transaction details and all that. Okay, so this is the simplest way of setting up the payment options in your website. So now we will have 2 minutes of your time. So you can just set up, if you have Zoho subscriptions, you can log in and you can set up the same. Or else I've just posted these details of the website in the chat box. You can just click on that and you can just play around with that with the dummy card details. So you'll have 2 minutes of time for this. Okay, so I guess we can move ahead with the next thing. Okay, so we'll just proceed on this further. So I'll just leave the site live for the next few days. So if you wanted to look at it anytime, so you can just access it from the link. Okay, so now we have seen how to collect online payments for your courses with Zoho subscriptions. Not only with courses, you can do this. If you have a fitness club, if you're running a gym, if you're running a SaaS-based model, you can make use of Zoho subscriptions and you can very well run your subscription-based business using and charge your customers for the same. Okay, so now we are moving on to our second scenario, so which will be doing a fundraising campaign. Say, for example, you're doing a fundraiser campaign and you have running ads on social media and on your website, etc. So what do you expect? So you expect your customers to click on that particular ad and then take them to the particular donation page where they can enter the amount which they wish to donate, and they can pay for it, right? So this is the typical workflow which is followed. So I'll just show you how to set up the same using Zoho Checkout. So we'll just go on to Zoho Checkout. So since I've already connected Stripe with my Zoho subscriptions account, the same integration works here as well. So I'll just simply directly go to the payment pages, and I'll just click on new payment page. So I'll just give it a title here. An amount. So say, for example, if you have any fixed amount which you wish to collect donation from your customers, you can enter the amount directly here. Or else if you are giving it your customer's choice, you can just choose customers decides on checkout page. And then if you're going on to the frequency, it can either be one time, recurring, or decided at checkout. If you choose one time, your customer would enter the amount, they would check out, and that's it. If you choose recurring, based upon the billing frequency here, your customer will be charged based upon the amount which they enter. If you choose decided at checkout, your customer can either choose between a one-time donation or a recurring donation. So for bill every, we'll just set a monthly donation here. And we have already set up a template here. So I'll just choose save. So you can just preview this particular page here. So it gives you directly through this particular page. And once you're okay with the design, you can directly put this up on your website. Or else if you wish to change the content, if you wish to add additional fields, you just can click on settings, templates, and choose edit from here. So this is where you customize this particular page, wherein you can just add the account details, whatever you want. So I've just added the email details alone. So if you wish to add first name detail, last name, and all that, you can just enable the fields, and you can completely customize these fields from here. So I'll just leave it as such, and I'll just do save. And that's it. So you can completely alter the look and feel, like the color and all that, based upon how your website looks from here. So you do have complete flexibility on that. So once I've created this particular payment page, I'll just go ahead and I'll just mark this as live. So this is in draft status as of now. I'll just choose share. I'll just choose mark it as live first, and then I'll just choose share. So I'll just get a direct link for this particular payment page. I'll just copy this. If I open this up on my browser, it'll directly take to my secure payment page. So this is one instance. So I've just created a payment page already, and I've put it up on this particular website. So I've just put up the same on your chat box as well. So if you just visit this URL, you'll be having this. So customer would be visiting your website like all naturally, and they can click on donate. And if they can just go in here and they can enter the amount which they wish to donate. And since I've added the first name, last name field, I'll just go ahead and enter. Enter the billing address as well. And the payment information. The card information would be dummy card details, which I'll be passing it right now. I'll just click on donate. Once this is done, so once the payment is successful, so Zoho Checkout will automatically generate a thank you email based upon a preference. And then your customers would be able to receive a receipt for that particular donation as well. So if you just come under here, this is the payment page which I had embedded. So you'll be able to view the insights of this. So you have received $520 so far. So this is the payment page which I put up on my website. Okay, so and that'll be it. So it is so easy with Zoho Checkout to create a payment page if you already have a payment gateway which you have set up. So you can directly connect your payment gateway, and then you can simply create a payment page, and you can directly put it up on your website. No need to worry about PCI compliance and all that. will automatically do the integration and the talking from our end itself. So only thing, you'll just have to copy the URL and put it up on your website, and that'll be it. So, and moving on, and that'll be it about the Zoho second scenario. So this will be the URL. So you can just go to this URL and you can just play around with this URL. And if you wish, you can make a generous amount of donation by entering the dummy card details. Make sure that you use the dummy card details which I posted in the chat box. So I'll just leave the site live for a few days from now. So you can just take a look at it whenever you like. So the sample details of the site, both Zoho subscriptions and Zoho checkout, is available in your handouts. So you can make use of that and you can access this link whenever you like. Okay, so to recap, so what I have done is I have made use of Zoho subscriptions in order to collect online payments for my recurring courses, wherein we have created a widget which provided me a pricing page. I put that up on my website, and the customer chose the plan and they have subscribed to the particular content which they want. And to the next, we moved on to Zoho Checkout, wherein we ran a fundraiser. We created a payment page to collect donations. So this was just a simple process. We just created a payment page and we have just put that up on my website. And we have collected payments using Zoho Checkout. So the unique aspect of FinanceSuite is that they are all ground up from the same platform. So it means that the invoices and the payments which you collect in Zoho subscriptions or Zoho checkout would automatically show up in Zoho Books instantly. So you need not worry about syncing data and other stuff. So with that, I'll be now passing the session controls to Vijay, who will speak about how to bill clients for the projects based upon the invoicing. Thank you all, and I'll hope you just post your questions in the questions box, and I'll just answer them right away. Thank you.
Thank you, Rohit. Now we have seen how to collect payments. Through Zoho subscriptions and Zoho checkout. Now we'll be moving to the next part of the session, which is collecting payments through Zoho Books. So we'll be creating a project and we'll be receiving payments through that. So let me start sharing my screen so that I can take you to the presentation, and then I'll show you a demo on the product. I hope you're able to see my screen right now. So this will be the agenda of the session. So we have completed an introduction to payment collection. Then we had a session on subscription and checkout. So our next session will be on Zoho Books. So we'll be considering a scenario here where I'll be running a design-based business. And when a customer approaches me, ask me to build a website for him, I'll be creating a project and I'll be showing you how to handle this case within Zoho Books. So let me show you a quick overview what we'll be doing right now. So basically, I'll be creating a project. And then after creating a project, we'll be creating multiple tasks for the project. And after creating tasks, we'll be assigning owners to it. And after assigning owners to the project, the next step would be is to log time. So owners is nothing but the users that we have in our organization. The people who will be logging time for the projects will be considered as owners or users within Zoho Books. So we'll be assigning them. After doing that, each user will be logging into Zoho Books, will be going to the projects module, and they'll be logging time for the time that they've spent on this project. So after logging time, we'll be sending invoices to the customers. And after sending invoices, it's time for us to get paid. So we'll be sending a reminder to them. If they don't pay on time, we'll be sending a reminder. So once they pay for the invoices, we'll be sending them a thank you note. And after recording payment, it'll get reflected within Zoho Books. So now let me take you to the product and show you what Zoho Books is and how it works. So Zoho Books is basically an accounting application which will help you in tracking your receivables, your payables, and generating your financial reports as well as your tax reports. So this would be the layout of Zoho Books. As you can see here on the dashboard, you'll be able to view the receivables and payables, the amount, the unpaid invoices, the unpaid bills will be listed. And apart from that, we'll have a cash flow statement, a cash flow graph generated on the dashboard. The income and expenses will be shown here. Your top income and expenses will be shown on the dashboard. So in our case today, we'll be discussing only about the time tracking module, where we'll be creating a project and we'll be billing the customer based on the time spent on this project. So let me quickly take you to the time tracking section. So to get into the time tracking section, first log into your Zoho Books, then click on time tracking, and then go to the project section. So in the project section, the first step would be is to create a project. So now click on the new project. So enter the project name that, you can enter a unique project name for this customer. So I'm entering the name as design. So now, since I've entered a project name, it's time for me to select the customer. Since, as Rohit was saying, whenever you create a customer and an invoice within Zoho subscriptions, it'll be pushed to Zoho Books. Zoho Books and Zoho subscriptions are integrated. Same way, Zoho Checkout and Zoho Books are integrated as well. The integration is pretty much seamless, so that whenever you create something within like a contact or an invoice within Zoho Checkout or a Zoho subscription, it'll be directly pushed here. There's no need for you to go to the integration page or to initiate a sync. That and all is not needed. Instead, you can just directly come here and look for the customer and create a project for them. So now I'm selecting this customer. Since I've selected this customer, the next step would be is to select the billing method. And in case if the customer is not from Zoho subscriptions or Zoho checkout, you can create the customer in the projects page itself. So you'll find a new customer button, click on it. So here specify the name, the email address, and the other details for the customer. Select the currency of the customer. And after entering all this information, you can save this. So once a customer has been created, you can select them in the customer name section. The next step would be is to select a billing method. So as far as billing methods is concerned, we have 4 billing methods in Zoho Books. So based on your requirement, you can go ahead and choose a billing method. Let me explain what each billing method does here within Zoho Books. The first billing method is fixed cost for project. When you select fixed cost for project, it is something that is mostly used in the construction industry, where the people will agree upon a fixed cost for the project. What they'll be doing is they'll agree to the customer, like they'll say to the customer that we'll be finishing this project at so and so dollars, and we'll be sending you an invoice after completing the project. In those scenarios, you can go ahead and select the fixed cost for project. Time spent is not needed for this project because we have agreed upon a fixed cost. The second option that we'll be seeing here is based on project hours. So this option, as the name states, will be working on a time-based project, and we'll be billing the customer based on the time that we've spent on the project. So for the entire project, if we are spending like 10 to 15 hours, we'll be creating an invoice for the amount of time that we have spent on the entire project. The third option that we have here is based on task hours. As the name suggests, we'll be creating multiple tasks, and for each task, we'll assign a rate and we'll be billing the customer. So as you can understand that we'll be using this option only when there are multiple tasks involved in the project and when each task is built separately at different rates. So we'll be using this option at that time. So the fourth option that we have here is based on staff hours. So this option is mainly used when we have multiple employees working on the project. Let's consider a scenario where I have an employee A, B, and C. So employee A is far more experienced than B and C. I'll be paying employee A more than B and C. In those scenarios, I'll be going with a based on staff hours option. So each user will be logging their time, and based on the time spent on the project, I'll be creating invoices based on their expense. Based on the amount that I'll be paying them. So these are all the 4 methods of billing methods in Zoho Books for creating a project. In this scenario, we'll be considering based on task hours. As I was saying earlier, we'll be discussing about a design company. So I'm creating multiple tasks based on this scenario, and we'll be assigning rates for each task here. So first scenarios, first task is web development. I'm assigning some dollars for an hour. And the next one is I'm developing an app for them. So I'll be entering some rate for that. And then I'll be doing one other task, maybe design a landing page, and I'll enter the amount for it. So this option is important. So if you're planning to bill the customers based on the time spent, I'd suggest you to select the billable option. If you don't select the billable option, invoices cannot be created for the entire timesheets. So make sure that you select the billable option. So as you have seen, we have entered all the details and we have selected this project as billable. And this is one important feature where you can add this project to the watch list of your dashboard. In the dashboard, as I was showing earlier, you'll be able to find a separate section called projects where you'll be able to view all this information, the unbilled hours, the unbilled expenses, everything will be listed on the dashboard for this project. Now I'm clicking on the save button. So after creating the project, the next step would be is to log time for the project. We have 3 methods to log time in Zoho Books. The first step is to manually enter the time. So select the project name, select the task name, and select the time spent on this project. So here you can just enter the time spent. If it is 2 hours, I'm just directly entering 2, and I'll click on the save button. Let's consider a different case where I'm not sure about the time spent on the project, but I know the start and the end time of the project. So if I'm logging in at 9 a.m. and logging out at 2 p.m., I'll be just entering the time here. So I've entered the start time and end time for the project. Now I'll click on the save button. So the system will calculate the time and it will display it here. Now let's consider a different scenario where I don't want to enter the time manually. Instead, I'd like a timer to run at the back end whenever I start working for this project. It's simple. So the same way, click on the log time option, select the task that you're performing right now, and click on the start timer button. When you click on the start timer button, the timer will be running at the back end, and the timer will show up here. So whenever you take a break from work, you can click on the pause button. And when you resume the work, you can just click on the resume button. So after completing your work, you can click on the stop button. So a timesheet will be created automatically. So as you can see here, the timesheet has been created automatically. So this would be the second method of entering time within Zoho Books. The third option that we have here is for Chrome users. So if you're a user of Google Chrome, and if you want to enter time directly without logging into Zoho Books projects module, we have an option for you. So click on the widget option. So this is available in Google Chrome Home Store. So you can just enable the widget from there. And once you open this widget here, the same way that you see inside the books module, you'll have 3 options here. You'll have a timer option, log time, and the timesheet option. So in the timer option, select the project, select the task, and you can click on the start button. As we were saying earlier, timer will be running at the back end, and you can stop it whenever needed. So this is one way within widget. The second option is same as that of the log time button that we saw earlier. So we'll be selecting the project again, and we'll be creating a timesheet here. The third option is where we'll be able to see the timesheets that are available within Zoho Books. So without logging into Zoho Books, you can directly access it from the widget itself. So that will save time for you. So if you're in a hurry or if you want to quickly check something without logging into Books, just click on the widget option at the top and view all these details. Now, since you've completed all these things, it's time for us to create an invoice. So the next step would be clicking on the new transaction, and you'll find a create invoice button. Click on the create invoice button, and here you can specify how you want to show the details on the invoices. So I'm sorting this as individual timesheets. So when I select this option, I'll be asked to select what needs to be shown on the item name. So here I'm selecting the task name. I want the task name to be shown on the item details section, and I want the staff name and the project name to be shown on the description. I've included all these timesheets. I'll click on the add button. Since I've clicked on the add button, now as you can see here, I'm removing, I don't want this timesheet to be built right now, so I'm just removing these timesheets alone, and the timesheet has been added to the invoice. As you can see, the time spent on this project, the rate, and the amount has been displayed. So the customer name will be selected based on the project from which you're creating this invoice. So after selecting all this option, the next step would be is to select a payment gateway. As Rohit was saying, Zoho subscriptions and checkout can be integrated with Zoho Books. Since Rohit has already set up a payment gateway in this integrated organization, as you can see here, Stripe option is already enabled here. So once you've added a payment gateway in Zoho subscription or checkout, it will be shown here so that you can just select it instead of setting it up again with the Zoho Books. Apart from the Stripe, we have other payment gateways which you can select for integration. Now I'm selecting Stripe as an example, and I'll click on the Save and Send button. So this would be the email template. If needed, you can customize this. And after creating an invoice, I'll be sending this to the customer for payment. And the customer will find a Pay Now button there, which they can click on it and pay for the invoices. Since I've already enabled a payment reminder, as you can see here, there is a payment reminder that will be sent to the customer on 29th. So if needed, you can also set up your own reminder. So there are chances that the customer might miss paying an invoice on time, or you might feel it would be better if we could remind the customer to pay for the invoices beforehand itself, before it crosses the due date. Well, we got you covered. Just go to the settings option and select reminders. Here you can see a list of reminders that can be enabled. There are manual reminders and there are automated reminders. So in this scenario, we'll be enabling an automated reminder. So click on the turn on button, specify after number of, you can specify after how many days this reminder needs to be triggered. So I'm saying 10 days after the due date. So this would be the template. As I was saying earlier, you can just insert the information that you require and click on the save button. So reminder has been enabled. So already have enabled a reminder to remind after 4 days, and another reminder will be sent after 10 days past due date. So once you go back here, the reminders will be shown here, and a reminder email will be sent to the customer so that they can pay for the invoices on time. As I was saying earlier, on the dashboard, you'll be able to view the projects and the unbilled hours. As you can see here, the project is displayed and the unbilled hours will also be listed. So if there are any unbilled expenses, that will also be listed on the dashboard of the project. Now let's get on to the advanced options of the projects module within Zoho Books. So since we have completed all these options, I'm taking you to the advanced section. So the advanced option that we have here is a budgeting option. So you'll be able to add budgets to the project. So if you feel that you want to keep track of time and you want to make sure that you complete the project with in the projected time, you can very well add a budget here. So I'm adding hours per task, and you can specify the time within which you'd like to complete this and save this. And once you go to the dashboard, you'll be able to view the budgeted hours and the time that will be spent, the time that you've already spent on this project. So that can be viewed here. And let's consider a different scenario where you're someone who sends invoice on a monthly basis for the time that you've spent on the project for that entire month. In those scenarios, that you might miss sending the invoices on time. Like you can be a person that sends invoices on 1st of every month, and you might miss sending it. So we have a small kind of automation for you, so to help you get over the situation. So click on the new transaction button and select create recurring invoices. Once you select create recurring invoices option, all the details will be populated as I was saying earlier, and here select repeat every month, because in my case I'll be billing the customer on a monthly basis, and here enter a profile name. I've entered a profile name and I'll click on the save button. So since I've created a profile, the timesheets that I'll create in the future for this month will be added will be accumulated to this invoice. So as you can see here, like this, all the timesheets will be added here. And at the end of the month or at the start of the month, I'll be sending this invoice to the customer, or I'll be setting an option here in the recurring invoices to send invoices automatically. So when you select create and send invoices, the invoices will be sent automatically to the customer. Or when you select create charge and send invoices, once you've added the customer's card within Zoho Books, the invoices will be charged and the invoices will be sent to the customer automatically. In our scenario, I'm selecting this option so that the invoices will be created automatically based on the time spent on the project for this month, and the invoices will be sent to the customer automatically. So these are all the advanced options that we have for the projects within Zoho Books. Apart from the web browser, we do have an option where you can enter the time in the mobile application as well. So if you're a person who uses mobile application often, we got you covered. So you have a timer option in the iOS and the Android application. All you have to do is just go to the mobile application and you'll find a projects module or a time tracking module there. Just open it and you'll find a timer option. So under the timer option, you can just go ahead and click on the start button whenever you start working for this project or a task. After completing a task, you can stop the timer and create invoices as we were discussing earlier. After creating invoices, the procedure is the same. You can send invoices for payments and receive payments, and thank you note will be sent to the customers automatically. So this is all about the projects module within Zoho Books. I hope you're clear about this. And this is a quick task for you, so you can start working on this task. So these are all the steps that you need to follow to create a project and create invoices for the customer. I hope I was clear about this process. You can go ahead and try this, and if you have any questions, you can put it on the question section so that will help you with this process.
Thank you, Rohit and Vijay. I hope everybody had been trying the session. I'm trying to share my. Sorry, guys. I'm just trying to share my screen if I can actually. Sorry, guys. I've been having some technical issues from my end. I apologize for that. So just I'm going to have a quick recap, and before I wanted to give one more poll. If it's just to make sure, like, what would you like to have, or what are the topics would you like to have in future? So which of the following session would you prefer, for the future workshop events? Managing orders and inventory management, streamline employing expenses reporting, setting up subscription businesses, project budgeting and accounting, or automation and customization, or would you like to have a deep dive on Zoho Sale and Finance application integration? Well, I could see a lot are actually looking for managing orders and inventory management. So I'm just going to show you quick results on here. So that's what people would like to have. Thank you. Fantastic. Thank you very much for actually joining us in this poll. So I'm going to give a quick recap before ending this session. So as Vijay and Rohit are being our product experts for today. So, Rohit, I've been talking about what are our finance suite. And not just that, he just spoke about the payment integrations as well. I'm sure it would be very useful for you guys. And then we just jumped into Zoho's subscriptions and checkouts. And then we've jumped into Zoho Books, where he had actually seen the subtopics of the login, log time, projects, how to create a project, and many more. But if you have any questions, please pop in our chat box, because our experts are going to be here for a few more minutes. And then if you have any feedback, please make sure you write them before ending up the session. That would be helpful for us to improve our further session as well, as we are planning to conduct more interesting free workshops as well in future. And if you have any queries or anything which is not popping up at the moment, please do email us at support@zoho1.com. Our experts are being here for 24 hours into 7. They've been answering the questions instantly. And not just that, as I said before, we are having a couple of, I would say, very good workshops coming up on the 9th of July and then on the 16th of July, which is on Zoho One, go from apps to operating system, and on people management as well. wait, not just there. We also have this e-commerce experts, they're going to help you guys. It's going to be a hands-on training on how to build your own e-commerce store. In this workshop, every participant will receive a starter kit with sample images, product images, banners, contents, which you can actually utilize them to build your own e-store during this workshop. This is on the 2nd of July from 11 a.m. to 12 p.m. And we also give a Zoho Relief COVID-free license program. So program like ESAP, you can also build a free application using this Zoho Creator, which is a low-code application development platform. And also we have this Zoho Remotely, which is a 11 suite of applications, well crafted. So we are giving you for free till the September 1st. Well, I think we're just going to end this session. Thank you so much for your time. I'm so happy that I always, saw you again. A lot of questions have been popped up as well. We are going to hold this for another couple of minutes so that, our experts can answer your questions. Please stay safe, stay healthy. Thank you.